everybody, Jessie right here, and we are so excited to bring you all Beyond the Pages with San Diego Real Producers. I've personally wanted to do this for quite some time, and we finally have the right people in place to host something like this, so we're really excited.
I'm super excited, Jess. I hear so many people out there. Everybody's here to celebrate. This is amazing, your inaugural first show of Beyond the Pages. So let's talk about Real Producers, because that's obviously how this got started. What got you interested in starting Real Producers? How did it come about?
Okay, got you. So we've been in business now since 2017, and Real Producers really was started, there was nothing like this in the market before, and there was this really big need to create a platform and a community of reciprocity, communication, and collaboration for the top producing agents and the best affiliates in the county. We didn't have something like this. There's different associations everywhere and different types of organizations for real estate, but nothing like what we were doing. And so we're really excited because we have it a three-tiered approach, and right now we were doing the magazine, right? The magazine goes out to the top 500 realtors in the market for buying about them, and it's been running for 4 years really successfully now. The second part is our events. We host really great private events. And the third part is now, Beyond the Pages. We're going to the next level to help people with their business. So we're excited.
So talking about your magazine, how often does your magazine go out to the real estate agents?
Yeah, the magazine goes out every single month.
Oh, monthly, so you're busy.
Yeah, monthly magazine. Yeah.
Okay, so we've got the magazine now to the show, Beyond the Pages. So let's talk about it. What is your vision for the show?
Yeah, so Beyond the Pages is pretty simple. Video content is paramount. Everybody who knows video or is doing video already very successfully, obviously their foot's on the gas, right? And we need to keep going with that momentum. So really what we're doing with Beyond the Pages is just giving our realtors and our industry partners an opportunity to get some video content that they can repurpose and share with their database and their clients and their referral partners, and an opportunity to really share their story in video format.
And I'm super excited because we talk to real estate agents, but then we talk to many of your sponsors. We can talk to landscapers, painters, everything out there that helps to sell a home, essentially, right?
And everybody has their own story. Everybody has their own start. So it is really powerful because video is obviously very, very important. And a lot of people, again, they're not using it. And there's also a handful that obviously are very good at using it. So I wanted to really offer a service that could help our partners, help our realtors, and just help their branding, help them to just have more brand recognition and share it through their to a larger audience and to their audience.
Well, I'm super excited to see how this goes.
Me too.
Like, this is the beginning.
Yep.
So congrats.
Yep.
Thanks for
Episode
joining me.
1, baby.
Next, we have Sophia joining us at Beyond the Pages. Welcome.
Hi, how are you?
Fantastic. I'm super excited to talk about all of your credentials. You're very successful and very busy.
Thank you.
The last year in 2020, you were on the Boss Mom article, correct?
Yes.
And you now have come from there and to now you just were on the cover. You were featured in, it was called what was the magazine? Creative.
Oh, so it was actually, that's okay.
What's it called?
It was the San Diego Real Producers.
No, but so what is the actual article called though?
I think, it was just on, I think
we're going to do it again, Mark.
We were a brokerage feature.
Okay.
So they just featured our brokerage.
Okay. Is that the one jumping in the pool?
Yeah.
Okay.
We weren't the cover, but we were like well,
let's talk about that. You're on Real
feature.
Producers then.
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect.
Because then we can throw that out there.
Yeah, that's great.
Or, Okay, we'll do it again.
All right, start again. 3, 2, 1.
Hey there, our next guest joining us is Sophia at Beyond the Pages. So welcome.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Well, I'm excited to talk to you. This is a very exciting show, obviously launching Jessie's show. And of course, you're a very special guest. You're very successful.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I want to talk because I know a lot about you and your past, that you were on the Boss Mom article.
Yes.
2020, correct?
Yes, that was super fun. Incredible moms featured, some of the best top real estate agents in town. So it was an honor to be a part of that.
Fantastic. Obviously successful enough that you were featured. And now coming forward, you were just featured in the Real Producers magazine.
Yes.
So tell us more about that.
Oh my goodness. When Jessie approached us, it was really interesting because back when I was on the Boss Moms article, I was like, what would it take to be featured as one of the brokerages that you guys talk about in the magazine? And she was like, well, you guys would have to reach a certain level of production. And I was like, oh man, that's so far away, I can't even imagine. And then the very next year, we were so thrilled to see so much growth that she approached us. She's like, you guys are killing it. Let's go. Time for you to be in the magazine. So we are so honored to be a part and to be a featured brokerage in Real Producers Magazine.
And it's such a great feature too. I was able to look at that.
Thank you.
So obviously you were selected for so many reasons. Let's talk about your credentials because you have quite a few that I want to discuss.
Sure. So I've been a real estate agent for 20 years and I've been a broker for 9. And, you know, there's so many things that I've done in real estate. I started to dabble in, educating both, clients, buyers and sellers, but also agent to agent. Mm-hmm. So I started speaking at Woman Up for the California Association of Realtors group that really empowers women and women in leadership. And I started, speaking here with Real Talk and just doing some fun stuff like that. But then this past year exploded, and I was so honored to be an MC for the California Association of Realtors Expo.
Which attracts thousands. I mean, let's talk about the numbers that attracts.
It was a little crazy to see all the numbers ticking up in the Zoom.
Right.
It was unfortunately it was not in person this year, but I know COVID, but
you spoke to the masses.
I did. It was super fun. It was really an honor to do that. And then I got to speak at the Side Real Estate Forum in Napa. This year, I also ended up speaking at Inman. I got to do 2 different panels at the Inman National Conference in Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. That was absolutely incredible. The panelists that I spoke alongside were just some of the biggest change makers. We talked about women in leadership. We talked about diversity. We talked about the market and how to grow and scale your business. So this has been a pretty epic year as far as making strides and kind of putting our stamp down for Avenue Home Collective.
Now, just recently you were elected as president. I want you to talk more about that. We can't forget that.
I did. Oh, thank you. I just recently was elected as the president of the San Diego chapter for the Asian Real Estate Association of America.
Amazing.
And, I've been on the board for the past couple of years, but to have the ability to take the presidency, it is just so exciting. A lot of the work that ARIA has done in the past has been in education and awareness, working towards Stop AAPI Hate and creating sustainable homeownership opportunities for the Asian American and Pacific Islander communities. But, this year, the National ARIA board, the president that's incoming is hell-bent on creating change in legislation, creating more actual fundraising that's going to support AAPI homeowners. And I'm thrilled to be a part of that because I can't wait to see where we take our San Diego chapter. And, last year we handed out 1 home buyer grant. This year we're handing out 2 home buyer grants, actually putting the money into home buyers in our town. And next year, I don't even know, we're going to try to go for 5 home ownership grants.
So you're doubling it this year and possibly almost tripling next year.
Yeah, we're gonna try to 5x it. So let's see what happens.
Good for you.
Thank you.
Well, I'm very, very excited for you. Obviously, you're doing fantastic.
We're so happy. This has been a banner year for the Avenue. We actually just opened our office doors in Forest Ranch 1 year ago. And we went from doing about 80 deals a year to this year we're probably going to close out at about 250 deals.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Very successful.
Thank you.
Yes.
We appreciate it. And San Diego Real Producers has been such a huge part of it to have not only myself in the top percentage of agents, but to also have some of my top producers hitting that mark now. We are over the moon.
Well, it's been a pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much.
So you're very busy, so I really appreciate the time you've taken to join us at Beyond the Pages today.
Anytime Real Producers calls, I'm there.
You're fantastic. Well, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Our next guest up is Marquez joining us at Beyond the Pages. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Anytime. So this is so much fun. We're launching the inaugural Real Producer Show for Jesse, and it's so nice to have you on. You're a wealth of information. You're great at what you do. You specialize obviously in the luxury market and as well as new construction. And I want to talk about that because we're such low inventory right now. And how is it going for you?
So it's been going very, very well in both segments, both new construction and luxury resale. As you know, we have no inventory, right? That's kind of been the undercurrent on everything we've been doing. And so the question is, will we ever see new levels of inventory to make a real impact in the marketplace? And the answer is probably no. In the luxury resale, I have several clients. We were talking about the Heritage, and up in North County where I live is the Trails.
Oh, I love it in there
The
too.
Heritage, other higher-end neighborhoods of Poway, as well as 92127, Santa Lucia, and those kinds of neighborhoods. Folks in the $3 to $4 million price point, unless they're downsizing and moving out of state, there's nowhere for them to go to move up. And so you sell your $3 and $4 million home. What does the next step look like?
Right.
And so that we are not seeing any inventory free up in the higher price points. And so if you go into the Trails right now, there is nothing that nice over $3 million. And I can think of about 3 or 4 off-market transactions where somebody knew somebody, and then the house sold just because they knew there was a lot of scarcity. And I have a new construction house in there that I was going to eventually put on the market, and actually sold off-market before it's even complete. And so if we move to new construction, I can tell you, so I have 4 new projects in Oceanside Vista, Escondido, Poway, and other communities throughout North County Inland Coastal. And we're selling these projects in framing or in foundations.
Okay.
And so we're not getting to a model home. I'm having folks call me well before even a sign goes up. I work with several small infill builders and have been fortunate to earn that business for several years now. And as a result, they're just calling us direct and finding out what we have coming up. And we're very, very excited. So I have 40, 50 new units coming up next year. But it's nowhere near the kind of inventory that we need to see to really solve this housing process. So we're in a little bit of a log jam. And so the people ask, why is that? Because you need to see inventory open up so other people can move into it. And then with this out of area migration that's coming in, we're seeing a lot of folks inbound from other areas that is picking up all the excess inventory as well. And so now we're just really in an interesting place. And I'm able to do this show once a month for SDAR called The Scoop. And on there we talk about the active listing inventory. And I can tell you our active listing inventory is about 1,500 units lower per week than prior year. So our inventory continues to track lower. Our pendings and solds continue to escalate. So at some point we'll see little, if any, few homes on the market. Granted, we're going to see interest rates increase. We're going to see some economic things increase. But the builders and the ability to create more inventory is not going to happen at a level anytime soon. Could be 5 to 10 years.
Wow. And then, of course, with our land being more locked here in California, how much more new builds can we do, when you look forward to the future?
Good question. And so you have communities like Poway. We were talking about Poway, for example. They're very conservative when it comes to density and expansion. And so, you'll probably see just a handful of homes over the next couple of years, new construction, even being placed there. Escondido is doing more development. But on TV, there's a little dichotomy because everyone's screaming for affordable housing and more housing, but the cities and municipalities aren't doing enough to facilitate that. They're not lowering their fees. They're not fast tracking processes. And then with COVID, we've had these supply chain issues, right? So supply chains will delay things and take projects out a little longer too. So it's a very interesting time. If you're a homeowner, it's a great time because your property becomes more valuable and is in very high demand, as we were just talking about.
Right.
So new times for us, a new model, definitely a new economy in San Diego that's driving this. This is like nothing that's ever happened before. And so...
so foreign and new to all of us.
It's a new reality.
Very much
the
so.
old paradigms aren't in play now. This is the new normal for us. We use that term, but get used to low inventory. It's not changing. The average house in some of these normal. Well, in Poway, for example, an entry-level condo is $500,000, $600,000, $700,000. A 2-bedroom, 2-bath, and that's going to stay that way.
Yes, makes it very, very difficult for somebody coming and starting out.
Good project to talk about in Poway. So there's an entity that built these new homes on Poway Road.
Yes.
In kind of a commercial area right by the sheriff's station.
I know exactly where you're talking about.
Those units, the model is now selling for $1 million in the commercial zone of Poway.
Right, and what's the square footage for the $1 million
that one,
that you're
I think
getting?
it was around 2,000 square feet. I mean, it was
That's
decked out
insane.
and very, very nice.
Right.
We had a BIA function there. It was pretty cool. And the city's been very good about trying to facilitate as best they can, but you're going to spend $1 million to live on Poway Road.
Right, in a commercial area of town.
Yes, exactly.
Right. Oh,
And
well,
no yard.
And no yard.
No
$1 million
backyard, yeah.
for no yard in the middle of a commercial area. Well, it was wonderful having you. That information is nerve-wracking a little bit, isn't it? But
Yes,
we're all in a good place. I guess it's more nerve-wracking for those coming in trying to buy a home.
You've never needed a real estate professional more than you needed one now.
Right.
The folks that have been in the business and understand this market, it's very complex. And as a buyer, it's hostile. It's absolutely hostile. As a seller, you have options. You're in the driver's seat. But if you're a buyer, make sure you're working with somebody that knows what they're doing.
Which is you.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, thank you so much. It was
Thank you.
wonderful having you today.
Great. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thanks. You too for joining us on Beyond the Pages.
All right.
Welcome back to Beyond the Pages. My next guests are wonderful guests. They're great friends of mine, great friends of Real Talk Media. They are from a title company called Tycor Title, which is one of the top in the nation. I've got Ryan and Haley from the Lipsy team, so welcome.
Hey, May, thank you so much for having us. We're honored to be here on Beyond the Pages. It's rad. What's up, Haley?
Hey, what's up? No, thank you so much for having us. And, you know, we don't brag about ourselves often, and we don't really like to, but Tycor Title as a company itself is part of Fortune 500. They're a great company to work for. And then Ryan runs a small division at Tycor Title, and then that's us.
Okay.
Yeah, that's our team.
So I want to know what differentiates you guys and what makes you guys so successful.
Well, that is an excellent question, May. Thank you. And we put ourselves in the position of our customer to overcome obstacles, overcome the type of things that they readily experience on the daily. Trench warfare, which is community banks, residential realtors, commercial brokers, whether it's a NetSheet app that gets them through a rough, quick, needed appointment, or it's data to find the right homeowners and to communicate with. We constantly are trying to prevent the friction that they encounter in their space and provide value in that sense. And then, you know, speed to lead, easier data, quicker response time. So I think that empathizing with our avatar and helping anticipate issues that they're going to encounter in their business and providing solutions on the back of those issues that they constantly encounter is our unique selling proposition.
Yeah, I definitely think so. And we love what we do too. And that is, I think it definitely shows with how Ryan said how available we are. We always make sure either if we don't answer right away, we always call back. And, you know, being in sales, we all hear about it, like fortunes in the follow-up. A lot of us salespeople, we tend to, and we've made the mistake too, we tend to fledgle away or not so great on the follow-up, but that's our main thing is we always want to be readily available for our clients because we know that you don't always need title, but when you need title, you need it, and you need it right now.
Right, especially
when there's an issue, when something comes up at the 9th hour, when we're trying to close and something comes up, you really need your team there. And that's what we strive to be. We have somebody always answering emails. We're always on our phones. And it's because we love what we do. And so that's why we're always available.
Well said.
Yeah, especially in this market. This market is rotating so quickly. So you need somebody that you can count on to turn over that title as quickly as possible for close of escrow, et cetera, right?
I mean, in 21 years of doing title, I've never seen the velocity of the marketplace the way it is right now. You know, I mean, you can just think about listing a property and it's in escrow with backup offers and it's like insane. I mean, somebody I know is looking to buy and it's just out there difficult, you know, and you could be overpriced, over asking, and still not win the property, you know?
I mean, it's definitely a high velocity market we're in. We know that the only constant in life is change, and we want to be there for whatever market we're in for our agents to come up with solutions and things to help them. So whether we're in a buyer heavy market where it's buyers have the leverage, or if we're in a seller heavy market where sellers have the leverage, we want to be able to help our agents in both of those areas come up with ways to help them get more deals through our title side and just being more of a business, like a strategic business partner versus we're just the title people who can solve item number 9 for you on the prelim. We got that. We can handle that.
Right.
Yeah, there's a website that can give you a report, but you need people to consult and to get a landscape view of the marketplace and what's on the horizon and help you prepare for that as a real estate professional, you know, and that's what we aim to do. And that's what we show up for every day. And well, that's one of the things is the differentiator, we show up. We do the things we talk about. We do the things we consult on. We do videos. We do prospecting. We do all the things. So we're in the trenches and constantly, it helps us keep our finger on the pulse of what the market's doing. Makes
Right.
sense?
Yes.
So
Right. And then your team, you've got quite a team behind you as well, correct?
I do. We couldn't do any of this without our team. We could not do this without Shelby and Katie. Katie runs the inbox and she's an admin expert or admin ninja, as we like to say.
We call her the eagle in the sky. She handles everything. She kicked Ryan out of the emails, out of scheduling. He's not allowed to touch the calendar, because if he touches the calendar, we have a meeting at 1 in Carlsbad and a meeting at 1:30 all the way in San Isidro. I don't know how that happened. So we fired Ryan from the calendar because he's a yes man, wants to say yes to it all.
Right,
so.
which is great to have, but you need to have somebody like, what's her name?
Katie, she's amazing.
Right.
She handles all the title issues that come up. And then we have Shelby too, who's great with the farming, can extract all the data. She works really closely with our customer service to help our agents with all their farming needs and all their farming tools. So we always have something covered for you at all points. I mean, Ryan runs it like a business.
Oh, and the key is to, you recognize it takes a little bit of humility, and it takes just getting yourself out of the way and identifying what you're good at and what you're not. And that self-awareness will help you, because you can hire someone and delegate the stuff that you're, like, say, a C+ at. So then you can spend more time doing the things that you're an A+ at, right? And when you do more of that, and because the more time I spend answering emails or doing scheduling and doing like $20 an hour work, well, if that takes over my schedule, then I'm making $20 an hour, right? So if I can give that stuff away and then spend time doing the $500 an hour work, then I have a better chance at making a greater amount. So that's the theory behind it, and coaching for that. And we got a really good, the cool part, that a byproduct is that we became a really close family, and it got us through quarantine. It got us through weird times in each other's lives. And the good news is we're not all crazy at the same time. But the other three of us can help the one that is going through something and making them crazy at that moment. And we have each other's back. And it's really rare to find something like that in our space. So I consider me fortunate, very fortunate, to have people be surrounded by such solid individuals.
Well, it makes you a lot more successful when you have a great team behind you. We talk about that with our son's hockey team. When there's a couple of them at odds with each other, they're not going to go well. Or go out and perform well on the ice because they're at odds with each other. You have to have a great team supporting you and backing you at all times, and that's what makes you successful. And it sounds like you guys have figured that out.
Well, it's not about me, it's not just about her, it's about us.
Right.
And we've had some pretty awesome accolades and titles and things thrown at us, but at the end of the day, we know we show up, we love what we do, we put our customers on the pedestal, and the big bright light shines on them. And except for in this moment.
The lights are pretty bright. I'm like, whoa, blinding here.
But we're the support staff, and we're okay with that, you
Right.
know. And when we sit as a team and discuss and mastermind, it's a round table. There's no hierarchy, and it's us, and it's not me or it's not her, it's us. And I think that speaks to the philosophy of how we run things.
And I think too, we mention it quite often on our team, like when the bullets are flying and things are just going crazy, we have our systems, we know what to do, we can help our clients get through their systems and what they're struggling with. And that's the biggest thing, is we got the training down, we have our systems down, so when bullets are flying and things are kind of hectic and crazy, we're there to help our agents through that crazy time, help them get on the other side of that. And we've gone through some crazy transactions during COVID, and we're just there to help our agents and put them on the pedestal. If they can look good, if they can win, we get to come along with the ride. And it's
Exactly.
Wow. Well, it's an honor having you guys here as our guests. It's amazing. I love hearing how successful you are. I really hope that people reach out to you. I mean, you guys know what you're doing. You guys have a great team supporting you, and it's been great to have you on the show.
Thanks, man.
I love it.
We'll be back anytime.
And thanks to Jessie. I mean, we couldn't have this show without Jessie. She's amazing. So,
Yes, she is.
shout out to Jessie.
It's been awesome being a part of the Real Producers family, and Beyond the Pages is the next installment. How cool is that?
It's very cool, actually. This is a big turning point for her, I think.
It is. It's a huge step. I love it.
I love it,
we're
too.
super stoked to be a part of it.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, guys.
Thanks, May.
Anytime. And next up, we have Carol Kaplan, so please join us. Welcome back to Beyond the Pages. I have such a sweet guest with me today, Ms. Carol Kaplan from Everything Creative Design, which is a staging company. So welcome. I can't wait to talk all about it.
Oh, thank you for having me on your show.
This is so special, launching this show for Jessie today.
Oh, I am so excited for Jessie. She's such an amazing entrepreneur, and just what she's done in her 4 years here. It's so exciting to see what she's built.
I know, and look what we're doing today.
I know. Isn't
The
it
launching
fun?
of this show for her. So of course we have some very special guests, and you being one of those. I want to talk all about your staging company. You're very successful. You've been in business for 16 years.
Yes.
Yeah, of course, you work with your 2 beautiful daughters. So
Right.
tell us more about it.
So I really started Everything Creative Designs on a whim. It'll be 16 years in January, and it's something that I wanted to do something for myself at that stage of my life, and really didn't know much about staging, but kind of heard about it, and I thought, well, maybe I can give it a try. So I started in my garage and went from warehouse, started, not in warehouses, I started off in little units that we rented out, and grew from 1 unit to 5 units, and then we went into a warehouse, and then a bigger one, and then a bigger one, and now we're at 15,000 square foot.
Wow. I can't wait to go and visit, actually. I hear all about it.
Yeah, it's fun. It's really fun to kind of see, this all develop, because I never imagined in my wildest dreams that this was ever going to happen. I mean, never.
No, do you ever drive up and go, wow, like, look at where we are today?
I do sometimes, I kind of like, I don't know, I suppose I don't take it for granted. I feel very blessed that we are where we are today.
Now, obviously, you're very busy. What is it like with staging in San Diego? How many homes would you say this year you staged?
So we normally have about 100 houses fully staged at a time.
At all times?
At all times.
That's incredible.
Obviously with the market as it is at the moment, things are moving very quickly, so it's kind of an in and an out. And a lot of people say don't stage because everything's going so quickly. But honestly and truly, we found that the houses that we've staged, every single one of them have sold over asking price.
I believe it.
So, and some of them are $400,000 over asking, $25,000 on the smaller ones. So, there is a definite need for it.
Absolutely. Now, let's talk about your team, because you have your daughters, obviously, that work with you.
Yes.
Right? They're a part of this success as well.
So Danny, my eldest daughter, she is the COO of the company.
Okay.
And she joined me about 4.5 years ago. So she does all the operations, and she always keeps saying, well, Mom, it's time to retire, but I don't see that happening in the near future. And I still love what I do. I'm very passionate about design. So I'm very involved in the design side of the business and purchasing, and she takes care of the rest of it.
Okay.
And then my other daughter, who has just come down from LA or up, whichever it is, she joined us. She's affiliated to us, and she's an architectural interior designer. So, whatever we get, we're getting people that want design in their home, remodels, she can do that. So she handles that side. So, it's a rub-off from the staging, because people, if they like the staging, want us to come and help and do interior design in their new home. So we have her available, for that as well.
Okay, so you have your 2 daughters.
Yes.
How many more consist on your team?
So we are up to 20 on our team now.
You consist of 20.
20 people. So it consists of like a logistics person. We have 4 designers. We have a warehouse manager and a complete warehouse team, and all our own movers, and obviously our own trucks. So it's kind of everything is done in-house. And the only time that we ever call in anybody to help us is we have another moving team that would help on D-stages when we're particularly busy, and that's this time of the year, because a lot of houses sell, and it's because it's becoming, it's the end of the year, and so we are full to the brim with furniture at this time of the year.
Okay, and if I were to call and I needed my home staged, how quickly can you guys have my house staged at this stage of the game, because the market is so crazy?
Very quickly.
So you have so much.
Very quickly.
Right, okay.
We could probably turn it, I mean, we've done, people phone us in the afternoon, absolutely desperate. Their stager let them down, can you help us? And we can turn it around and literally do it the next day.
So that's wonderful. So you don't turn away business. You have more than enough.
Right.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for sharing. Is there anything else you want to touch on that we haven't touched on?
I'd like to tell you we've started a little retail business as well called Gallery 18. And what we are doing is we actually sort of honing in on the realtors, because this is our business. We have such affiliations with them, and we've started curating closing gifts for them. And so we have this little
Wonderful.
retail store, and we can curate any kind of gift for a closing gift. So, you know, they just tell us what they want, what the person's into, and we have a lot of inventory that we've bought specifically for the gallery. And it's just another little side business.
Now,
So
is the gallery open to the public?
it is open to the public,
Okay.
but, you know, because we're a little bit off the beaten track, it's, you know, we're not getting passing traffic. But that's fine.
Right.
You know, people can phone in. We do have a website, and people can phone in, order their gifts, and we deliver.
Okay, and word of mouth anyway.
It is.
Right.
It is.
Well,
kind
that's
of.
wonderful. And that's called Gallery
18.
Gallery 18.
Yes.
What a cute name. So we've got everything creative designs and Gallery
Gallery
18. Great. Well, thank you so much. It has been such an honor to have you come and join us on our first show. I know this is very, very special for Jessie and for myself. So thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, May. It's just such a pleasure. You're an absolute delight.
Thank you. You're wonderful to have. Thanks again, Carol.
Thank you.
Our next guests on Beyond the Pages are Tuan and Jason Waldy from the Waldy Group, correct?
Yes.
Welcome.
Hi.
Thank you. It's a pleasure having you guys here. I
Pleasure
love
to
it.
be here.
It's a great first show, having great guests. So obviously you guys are a wonderful husband and wife team, right, with the Waldy Group?
That's what we like people to think.
Yeah, you
We're pretty good at throwing it out there.
You are throwing it out there very well. And you guys were just featured on Jessie's magazine, The Real Producers, a few months ago, right?
Yes.
So let's talk more about you. I want to learn about you guys. What got you guys into real estate? And why did you want to work together? Maybe
Ooh.
we'll start there.
Okay, well,
Wanted to and needed to are kind of within the same realm.
Yeah,
but,
that's
go ahead.
normal. That's a
Wanted to-
normal answer
yeah.
from a husband, I would
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
he's lucky that he's still alive.
Right, exactly, exactly. And that's what a wife would say.
Well, Jason actually started almost 11 years ago.
Yeah, 2011 I got my license, and Tuan was studying to become a nurse at the time.
Okay.
So
We're
kind
both
of
hard at
through,
work.
you know, just trials, tribulations, work-wise, having a baby on the way, and all those kinds of things, I think it made more sense for you to segue from your nursing career to join and get her real estate license as well.
And be a lot more flexible as a mom, obviously.
Correct,
Right.
exactly, because that was actually our number one goal, was to be a mom or be parents, you know,
Right.
and that's for me was my ultimate goal, instead of having to, you know, be a nurse, work long hours. So that was the reason why I had a change of heart.
Right.
And I'm coming up on my 7 years in January.
Congrats,
Yeah,
7 years
so-
already. And what an amazing last few years it's been for you. You guys, I mean, this real estate market is insane.
Yes.
You know, I mean, you can't even probably keep up. It's so much turnover.
Well, the funny thing was is when COVID hit in the beginning of 2020, the real estate market halted like severely, like immediately, and we were just kind of looking at each other like, what are we gonna do? Like everybody was freaking out. We lose
Yeah.
a couple escrows, buyers get cold feet, and they bond it back out and stuff. And then literally within like 2 extra weeks, it was
Yep.
like wildfire.
Nonstop.
We had a record year in a pandemic.
Right,
It was
yeah.
unbelievable, and that still hasn't seemed to slow down all that much. You know,
Right.
since then.
Everybody wanted to upgrade all of a sudden. We're all like, we're all stuck at home. We need a bigger house.
Bigger
Yeah.
house.
Or they're like, hey, we're freaking out, like, you know, not having the assets that we own, something that's secure, like real estate. Everybody believes real estate is like a security
Yes.
blanket, you know, which
Yeah.
it is. And
Which
so
it
they're just
is.
like, we got to get into something before interest rates go through the roof and everything like that. And I think that fear is still, you know, very well out there.
Also because
buyers,
rates
so.
were like super low, so everybody wanted to take advantage of that.
Right.
So why not?
Still
Right.
continue to be, too.
Yeah.
So tell me about your team. So how do you guys work together as a team?
So we actually we have a wonderful TC. She's basically our assistant.
It's a transaction coordinator.
Yes.
Yes, it's fantastic to have
So
a TC.
she keeps us in line with, you know, and you know, with even how we work together, how we communicate as well too. So
Well, our lenders, affiliates, our escrow companies, title reps. It's really
Yeah.
just Tuan and myself
Okay.
on the transactional side for now. I mean, we were expanding our team prior, but we kind of shifted gears to say, hey, listen, you know, we can handle the workload that comes in for the most time. We want to be more personal to our clients, keep things kind of tight niched. Now, it's still maybe on the table at some point that we might want to continue to grow Waldy Group, but right now it's more just like the Waldy 2, which is fine. Most people recognize us as just a husband and wife.
Right. And well, group is two. A group
Yeah.
is two or more.
Yeah,
So,
that's right.
And fantastic that you guys are working so hard.
Yeah, and I don't know, I just feel like with our business that we have right now, we're in control of all of that. Of course, again, our TC plays a big role with our transactions and with our clients and stuff, but I just feel like, we're comfortable and we're content. And, maybe down the road, if we want to expand our team like we did in the past, maybe.
Yeah.
But as right now, we like it the way it is.
Can't complain.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Where do you guys see the market in 2022? Just out of curiosity, I just like to ask this question.
It's a great question.
I want to hear what your
Let me
crystal
get
ball
my
says.
crystal ball.
Yes, that's what I want to hear. What do you think's going to happen? Let's predict.
Well, here's the thing. So I got my license in 2011. So I was in the business only on an up market. I wasn't working in real estate. Neither one of us were when the market, got dragged out from underneath us in 2008.
Yeah. Right.
So it's hard for us to kind of tell because everybody kept saying, "Oh, it's a 10-year, fluctuation. In 10 years, it's this and that and this and that and the other." But we have lenders and other affiliates that have been in the business for 20 plus years, and one of our closest lenders has told us, he's like, "Jason, I can see this continuing growth market for the next decade." And I'm like, it blows our minds just as much as it would just, someone that's not in the business. So the answer is, I have no clue.
No.
It's just like trying to watch the stock market, and you're watching your favorite stocks go up or down or up or down. You don't know why it's doing what it's doing for the most part.
No.
It just is what it
It's
is.
doing what it's doing, right? And
Yeah,
we're just
so-
along for the ride.
Has anybody given you an actual prediction? Because I would probably say they don't know what they're talking about either, to be honest. But
Yeah, they've thrown their predictions out
Mm-hmm.
there. A lot of them think it's not going to change substantially, at least in California.
Yeah.
Maybe interest rates will go up somewhat.
Slightly.
But they
Right.
really think that we're going to stay pretty even
yeah.
for the next year. So we'll see. That was
We'll
just what
see.
their crystal ball told
Yeah,
them.
and
so
what
you
we always
never
tell
know.
our clients too, that the buyers that's on the fence and stuff to purchase, we always tell them like, hey, financially, whatever makes sense for you, if you can afford it, buy it now, or if you can still afford it, maybe 3 years down the road, still, keep it. You know,
Right.
so whatever you're comfortable with financially, if you can buy it tomorrow or buy it next year, whatever makes sense.
There's
for you.
not a ton of benefit just to sit back and rent, continue to rent, continue to rent, continue to rent if you're available and have the means to buy.
Right, you're
And if
pre-approved.
what and your price point's there, and you guys can get what you want, even if it's something smaller. We had to sacrifice when we bought our first home.
We all did.
And it was way more expensive than our rent was, and we were freaking out trying to rub two pennies together. But it worked
It
out.
worked out. You made it
Take
work out.
Yes, and take advantage, but with the low interest rate right now too, it's crazy.
Right, because who knows where that will go.
Exactly.
I know. Well, it was so wonderful having the two of you on our
Are we
show.
done already?
We're done. I know.
Just kidding.
Can you believe that? Well, I hope you come back again. I know that Jesse and I would love it.
Thanks,
Yes, we
May.
will.
It was
thanks.
nice meeting
Nice
you.
meeting
Nice
you.
to meet you, and thank you so much for joining Beyond the Pages today.
Thank you.
Our next guest is Andrew Greer joining us at Beyond the Pages. Welcome.
Hey, how are you doing?
Fantastic. I'm so excited to have this first inaugural show. So you are one of our guests, and it's a pleasure to have you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I love the studio. It looks great. This is a lot of fun. I'm really excited.
Well, thank you for joining us. It's a pleasure having you. So, I want to talk about the holidays. We're coming into the holidays, and you have a holiday party coming up, correct?
Yeah,
I want to talk about it.
We have our big holiday party. It's on December 15th.
Okay.
And what we're doing is raising money for Toys for Tots. So there is a ticket charge, it's $20 to attend the event, but you get a couple drinks, and all of that money is actually going directly to Toys for Tots. So we'll have the toys there.
Right.
Everyone can come in, have a good time, get some drinks, and enjoy the party. We throw our monthly event, brewery, so it's at a brewery.
Okay, let's talk about where it is and when
Yeah.
it is. So it's at a brewery. What brewery?
So we're going to be at Ale Smith.
Okay.
We have the second floor all to ourselves. It's going to be a big party.
Okay.
And I'm just looking forward to having some good beers, sharing some toys, and then giving out the awards for Best Flip of the Year, Ugly Sweater Contest, all that stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun.
That's amazing. So
Yeah.
now are you capping it at a limit?
We are
Like-
supposed to do 190 people,
That's a lot.
but I think we can fit more. And
Right.
I'm planning on doing much more.
That's
So,
fantastic.
yeah.
And when is that going to be?
So that's December 15th.
Okay.
Ale Smith, 5:30 to 8:30. And there is an Eventbrite that I can put the link wherever this video is. There'll be a link
Perfect.
that you can check it out.
Great. And I love that all proceeds go for Toys for Tots.
Yeah, we're really excited for that. We wanted to do that for the holidays. So we had sponsors actually pay for the venue, pay for the event. We set everything up so that way all the money could actually go just for toys, and anything the sponsors put in that is over is going right back into toys.
Oh, you have a good heart.
So
I love that. Okay, so December 15th.
December 15th.
Okay, and then let's talk about development. So you develop complexes, correct?
Correct.
Okay,
yeah,
so let's talk more about that.
Yeah, so we build apartment complexes primarily in southeastern San Diego. So Logan Heights, Barrio Logan, South Crest, National City. We just finished our most recent on National Avenue, and it has cactus on it. That's why we have the cool cactus pin right here.
Yes.
And we're just excited to keep doing that. We work with a lot of realtors to actually raise the capital. So the agents invest their money with us. Then we build the buildings with them as our partners. So it's a lot of fun.
It's a great investment opportunity right now too.
Oh yeah.
Because we're putting more and more of those complexes up, obviously with the shortage of homes that we have in San Diego for the amount of people that want to live here.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming your business is booming.
We are definitely booming. We're getting much higher rents than we projected, and we're filling up almost within a couple days of every listing going up. We have it rented out. It's pretty cool.
So is it all of your development are all rental properties, or some of them are purchase properties?
So currently right now we have 5 projects that are all rental.
Okay.
And then we have 3 custom homes coming in Mission Hills that'll be ready at the end of next year that are going to be beautiful panoramic views of all of the bay, awesome properties.
But those are already taken.
Those aren't taken.
They're not?
Those are going to go for sale. I'm really
So you're
excited.
building custom. I mean,
Yeah.
they're going like that. So
Yeah.
it never used to be that way.
No, it
right?
used
You
to
would
be a
never
lot
build
harder.
custom until you had a buyer that is building the house. So that's phenomenal. And they're going to have views.
All 100% panoramic views from the 3rd floor roof decks, and some of them from the 2nd floor even. So it's really cool.
What's your development company name?
I own Thomas Stratford Investments with my partner.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Is there anything else you want to share?
No, just looking forward to a great 2022 as we wrap up this year and that fun holiday party and getting together with everybody to end another awesome year.
I know, me too. And I love, again, where your proceeds are going towards. I think that is fantastic. You have a great heart.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
It was
Have a great day.
Yeah, you too. It was a pleasure having you at Beyond the Pages. Hey there, our next guests are Michelle Coker and Danielle King. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you for having us.
I love having you. This is so exciting. Jesse's new show, and you guys are the first.
Love Jesse.
I know, we do too, so much. So, 2021 has been a little wanky. Do you girls agree? It's been an interesting year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah,
I want to
for
talk
sure.
about some of the standout moments for you ladies in 2021, because let's just chat and make this fun and humorous.
Amazing. You know what I feel like? So many of the standout moments are things that people don't realize realtors do. I think anybody who owns a small business is going to be their own janitor, their own accountant, their own, kind of everything. So one standout moment for me is kind of relates to going above and beyond as a realtor and sort of the perfectionism that comes with, for me, listing pictures. So we had a client that is a little elderly, did not want her products moved off of her bathroom counter. There might have been like 50 products, and they had to be a certain way, and I didn't want it to be photographed that way.
Right.
And the rationale was, and this is kind of applicable to many other listings this year, was the market's so hot, what's the difference? No one's gonna care. I didn't care when I bought my place. And my rationale is, you're gonna look at your phone, most buyers, and you have 30 seconds. That's what they think of your listing. So it better look pristine and amazing, and you're still gonna want to bid it up.
First impression.
Yes.
First impression.
Yes.
Right.
So that
It's like
was
listing 101.
yes.
Right.
I don't want my products moved. So, and with her permission, she was out of town, moved everything out. And right before she got back into town, I had taken a bunch of pictures, and I'm literally tilting bottles exactly the way she had it, so that, like you're on a movie set,
Right.
like making sure it's just so.
So you took a photo of it before you removed
Yes,
it
a
all,
few
and then
photos.
put it back in place.
Exactly.
And it
the
wasn't
way
just
you
in that
wanted
case. It
Impressive.
wasn't just that, but so that's just kind of one of some
A little thing that's big.
Yes.
Right.
Yes,
It
and I
goes a
think
long way.
clients in general will have particularities throughout the transaction, and you kind of never know what they're going to be. And it's very different in a 2021 market when it was so hot for sellers, still trying to, if their goal was to maximize profit, or sometimes even if it's not, you just know how much the little things go such a long way. So that's one that stands out for me.
Yeah, that is. I think so too. Yeah, and I know that your client really appreciated you for that. You made her bathroom look much nicer, and then you put things back where they belonged when you were done.
Yes.
So what's another standout moment you can think of?
I'm actually on the other side. So I deal only with buyers, and I get to see those beautiful photos, and they do matter.
They
for
do.
sure. So I love hearing Michelle and our other team member, Heather's, kind of recount of what they do with the listing. For me, I've actually dealt with a variety of buyers this year, which was awesome. And some of them actually came over, from house hunting in 2020 too. So they've been doing this for a while. The anticipation was huge. I have one client that I absolutely adore. It was a referral from another client, and he called me 7:30 in the morning, 11 at night. He had so many questions. And this was before and after he actually did get a home, which I am super excited and celebratory about. Just asking, what is this tax bill? What, can you help me read through the HOAs? And the relationship doesn't just stop after the purchase is done, when the transaction is over. And I absolutely love our relationship now because we still send each other real estate memes. And I know that he is gonna, he remembers the relationship. He remembers the detail and everything that we've been through. So it's one of my favorites, and it'll keep carrying through.
Yeah. Right. Yes. Any other moments you can think of? I mean, there's so many. 2021's probably felt like a whirlwind to you, and it's just a constant revolving door.
There's
right?
plenty. And I would say on the buy side too, I mean, after you have submitted 12 offers for a client, and on that 13th, 14th offer, whatever it is, when you get accepted, it is a hallelujah moment. And this was the most challenging but most rewarding experience, I think, on the buy side.
And you've had to do that several times, I'm sure.
It's been plenty. I can, numbers for days.
Yeah, I primarily focus on listings, but also on the 92127 zip code. So we'll help many buyers in that zip code. And one of them, they were the sweetest couple. They have 4 kids. They were in a condo in right near the beach in La Jolla, and they just wanted a house in Del Sur. And they were so humble. I think it's very easy when people are making a lot of money from the sale of houses to then have these expectations and just wanting a lot, which they could have maybe gotten in 2020. And most people could not have anticipated, at least in 92127, the 20 to 30% and plus price increases.
Right.
So for them, they were kind of caught in that a little bit. The prices keep going up, and I think they'd started at $950 and ended up at a house buying at $1,020,000. And at the time, to get that house, they had to waive literally every contingency. No inspection, no appraisal, no loan contingency, even though they still had to get a loan. And in
So
that deal,
nerve-wracking.
they didn't get it. But the fact that deal was in escrow was used to allow us to put that client into escrow in an off-market deal that we did with Heather on our team, with a client who just didn't want her home on the market for a variety of reasons. And the appraiser was able to use that comp to justify the price of $1,020,000. And it was scary, and they're so happy. And now, while they're waiting, the 60 days that they give a free rent back, I swear the home went up $100,000.
They've already they've profited money.
It's always nice in 2020 to, hindsight 2020, but in hindsight to go, of course, it was a brilliant buy, you made all this money, but you don't know at the time.
No.
And it's hard to listen to a realtor who, maybe some people are thinking, oh, they just want the sale. But we're listening to economists and we're saying, you know what, the prices are projected to do X. And in this case, they were projected to keep rising. And it was such a similarly a celebratory moment to go, welcome to your new house and to $100,000 in equity.
Right.
So
essentially giving them that $100,000 in a check form, if you could, because it's right there sitting in the investment.
Yeah, so that's
right on that property. Yeah, those are special moments, especially when you're fighting so hard, number one, for a buyer, and then for this particular client as well. It's when you have to put all these offers with no contingencies, it's such a nerve-wracking feeling. So come from that to something that's a little bit less, I guess, disheartening, and a little less stressful. It's so gratifying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Two others stand out, and one is just, you're at the very end, and this seller is going to leave this plant, but they're not going to leave this plant. And in this case, it was, nope, I want to take this pot with me, and we had planted a plant in there to make it look nice. So it's last minute going over there with garbage bags and sweating profusely, unloading a ridiculous amount of dirt from a planter, and kind of thinking, I I can't believe, like for me, I went to law school. I was an attorney. I did that for this. Like this is my job.
I'm picking dirt up now.
It's kind of like being a
Scooping
mom.
dirt,
It's
right.
all the things you do. It's all the dirty things in the background that nobody sees that I think make a difference. And I would love to see, you know, where that plant is in her new home. But the symbolism there was, yeah, really, she's setting up new roots in this person's case in Los Angeles. Kind of a healing process from where she was at in San Diego. And it's so easy, I think, during a transaction, especially in 2021, to get for a client to get bogged down by the details. But we get to see, you know, 2 or 3 months later when they're so happy. And that's kind of what we're thinking about when we're doing these random last minute things that you don't really think are in your job description. So seeing our clients happy is amazing.
Yeah,
So,
your jobs are very gratifying.
yeah.
For sure. Well, it was wonderful having the two of you join us today. This is a very, very special show for the inaugural, and having the two of you join us is so amazing. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's great to have
Appreciate
you.
it.
Thanks for joining us at Beyond the Pages. Our next guest is Jake Smoke joining us at Beyond the Pages. How's it going?
It's going well. Thank you for having me.
I love having you, especially for the first inaugural show, right? This is a
Yes.
big deal.
I love it.
I love it too. So thanks for coming out. This is
Yeah.
wonderful that you're out here celebrating. So I want to talk more about you, what you do, why you do it. You're from the tip of the
Tip of the Spear Real
Real
Estate Team.
Yes.
Yep. So we are. So I'm a realtor, right? All
Yes.
over Southern California. You know, I live in Oceanside, but our brokerage is in Santee.
Yeah.
Pretty much, we go everywhere. I've got clients in Long Beach, showed homes up in Big Bear, all the way down to the border, and everywhere in between, like I said. So
So you know the city very well.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, and I've been here since 2002. You know, I'm a Marine Corps veteran, so I was based up at Camp Pendleton.
Well, thank you for your service, by the way.
Thank you, appreciate that.
Yeah.
Our team, we're all military vets, and people are like, "Oh, do you guys focus on an area?" And it's not really about focusing on a certain area. It's focusing primarily on that military and veteran community, right? So for that community, we pretty much go anywhere, and that's who we really enjoy working with. And we before COVID and all of that, we've worked with clients from Europe, from Turkey, from Italy, from Spain, from the East Coast, from Hawaii. They're always coming inbound from somewhere else, right?
Right.
So doing those Zoom calls and those Google Meet calls, it's always been something we've done. And you
That's
know,
amazing.
that's-
How long has your team been in business now?
The team as a whole, it's been about 2.5, 3 years.
Okay.
You know, as a structured whole.
Obviously coming into this strong.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. You know, it's primarily myself and Brian Britton. He's a team leader. We've got a couple other folks on board. We've got almost all the branches covered except for the Air Force. So we've got 2 Marines, we've got a Navy gal, and we've also got an Army veteran. So
I love that.
Yeah.
I really do. So you cater a lot to the military.
yeah,
Because you know it well, you know them well, you know what
Yeah.
they go through.
yep.
All
Yeah.
right, now, how has it been trying to find them homes in this market?
You know what? A lot of people, honestly, not that bad. Not that bad. A lot of people kind of get the wrong impression about the VA buyer or about that process, and so
I just
often-
mean because there's such low inventory in general.
Yeah, so we've really been successful in finding creative ways of getting our buyers into a home,
Great.
into escrow, right? So
Right.
first and foremost, the buyers in this market, they've got to be strong, right?
Right.
They've got to have money in the bank, they've got to come in strong, and that's a hard pill to swallow sometimes, but we've been pretty successful in finding creative ways to get them into homes, even with this low inventory.
That's fantastic.
Right now, as a team, we've got numerous, buyers in escrow at the moment. We've got a couple listings as well, so we're doing pretty well.
Great. Sounds like you guys are very successful.
Yeah,
You're on the up and
we're-
up, I
we're-
think, for
we're trying
2022.
trying to grow and trying to establish and create more tools and things for our team, and so we can help more veteran and military. But we work with everybody too. So
Right.
I don't want you or the viewers to think we only work with veterans.
Right.
We work with everybody.
Right. You name it.
Yep.
Right.
But if you can work with veterans, you can work with anybody. Not necessarily the other way around, right?
Correct. Well, thank you so much. I'm excited to see what
Yeah.
2022 brings for you and your clients.
Likewise, thank
It's going to
you.
be interesting.
Yeah.
Well, and thanks for joining us today.
Definitely appreciate it.
It was wonderful having you as a guest.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Our next guests are Brandon Rampani and Monica Halliday joining us at Beyond the Pages. How's it going, guys?
Well, we're doing good.
Well, thank you.
I know you're, because I've been, hearing you guys have collectively got together and you've rebranded,
Yes, we
right?
have.
So I want to talk more about that
Okay.
and hear about how it's going.
So we originally were like My Name LLC, right?
Okay.
Really not much flair to that. I kept it super simple. Monica and I had completed 2 transactions with each other as a seller and a buyer. I was her agent. Really liked where Monica's head was during the real estate transaction as a buyer and a seller. She had all her paperwork up already advanced to me. And so after the transaction closed, I thought it would be a great idea to take a leap of faith and bring her in. And when she came in, I just felt that my name on the company, Brandon, like just didn't seem jivey.
Right.
So we recently branded to Vested Real Estate, which is a little play on words, right? You being invested in someone's future,
Right.
and then the actual vest. Once we put a name on the company, it's like naming a pet, right? You just kind of build this relationship and build this love. You don't name the pet, it can go away and you don't ever lose it, right?
Right.
So by putting this name and spin on it, kind of gave our company that character and that culture.
Yes.
With Monica, we've been able to grow literally double. She has the double
Amazing.
effect. I didn't think I could do double more work, but obviously hiring the right people that bring value to the right department of your company, it doubled. And
So that leap of faith is what you're telling me paid off.
it did
Double
right? Yeah. And
right now so far.
so far, and it's
Right.
been really great watching her go from the like federal credit union world into the real estate world. A lot more energy and emotion in that. I'll let her kind of shed some light on that.
What's that been like for you, the transition?
The transition has been good. Thankfully, that credit union background really was a good foundation for what you see in real estate. As far as mortgages and finance in general, I think we're able to be very educational for our clients. We can help them with how that mortgage payment affects their daily life. I kind of have a little bit of that background. But I think that leveraging the power of 2, I mean, in this case, in the first year and a half, it's been double. But as I get more familiar with processes and quicker on the admin side, that double turns into 60%, then turns into 70%. There's a lot more growth, I think, for us to achieve.
We run our team just a little differently. A lot of people come into this business and they want to get as many agents and build the team as much as possible. I love the teams that do that, that perfect it well. But what I have found is the culture and the character of that transaction starts to dilute if other agents are involved in that transaction. So what we've done at Vested is that we've kept it more of a one person, you're going to get me through this as the agent, the protector, but you're also going to get a clerical staff. So I actually have a tech division as well as a social media division that's run by one director, and I have the operations that handles all the operations. So when you run a team a certain way, it can actually impact the client way differently.
Well, you both bring your expertise now. You have different expertise, which now makes you more successful.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You feed off of each other.
Definitely.
Right.
100%.
Right.
Sounds cliche to say yin and yang, but we definitely have complementary strengths, and thankfully those weaknesses are offset by the other strength.
Yep.
So it really is a cohesive team.
I think the biggest one I have is I'm a little, edgy. I get a little bit aggressive sometimes, obviously when I'm passionate
We
for
say
something.
direct.
You're direct.
See,
Okay.
look right
Great
there.
words. Yeah, see, there you go.
She
That's
tends
right.
to round my corners and make me a little softer to be approached, and sometimes I need that coming from the military background world. I'm a little rigid, if you will, but it's been great. I've had an awesome time with her. I was getting a little bored in real estate. She's brought a little level of energy into that office. She's got a husband and a daughter here as well in San Diego, and it's been really fun watching the holidays grow, I'll be honest.
Oh,
It really
I love
has.
that. You've become a family, it sounds
It really
like.
has, Very yep.
much.
Right. So now we only just see up and up for 2022. You guys are a dynamic team.
Yes, we are.
And I guess we'll see where your team takes you.
Well, I
Right.
definitely am motivated by that right there, and I know that with her energy level and with my expertise, I don't think there's anything that's going to stop us in 22.
Well, I'm excited to see, and hopefully you guys will come back because I want to
Oh,
see
for
how
sure.
it goes.
We'd love to.
Yeah,
Thanks
well,
for having us, by the way. This
Thank
was awesome.
you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Cheers.
This is amazing for our first inaugural show, so I'm glad you guys were a part of
Yeah.
it.
Thanks for having us.
Anytime. Thanks for joining us at Beyond the Pages.